We have a problem, Batman. Gotham needs you again.
Team Rocket is a bunch of criminals who pretend to be idiots so nobody takes them seriously. Jesse James and Mayoth show up everywhere with crazy schemes that always fail, but their failures might actually be part of the plan. The protocol must deal with people who have turned looking stupid into their best disguise while they do real criminal work behind the scenes. Their biggest weapon isn't their gadgets or their talking cat, but the fact that everyone thinks they're harmless jokes. Nobody suspects the bumbling villains of being actually dangerous, which makes them perfect spies for the bigger Team Rocket organization. The plan must address criminals who have figured out that failing publicly is the best way to succeed privately. Their schemes always fail to catch Pikachu, but they keep coming back with unlimited money and new gadgets like nothing happened. Real criminals don't get infinite chances and endless budgets unless they're doing something valuable for their bosses. Their machines are actually pretty advanced for people who are supposed to be incompetent, and they somehow survive explosions that should kill normal humans. The strategy requires looking past their obvious failures to figure out what they're really trying to accomplish. Maybe catching Pikachu was never the real goal, and their actual mission is something completely different that they accomplish every time, while everyone focuses on their public failures. Team Rocket, the organization, gives them way more resources than street criminals should have, including experimental technology, unlimited funding, and immediate replacements for destroyed equipment. Their connection to the bigger criminal syndicate explains how they can afford giant robots and flying machines every week, despite never successfully stealing anything valuable. The organization probably sees them as useful idiots whose public failures provide perfect cover for more serious crimes happening elsewhere. The approach involves tracking their money, finding their supply sources, and identifying who gives them orders from the shadows. When their support network becomes visible, their real purpose becomes clear. What do you think, Alfred?
Master Bruce, these three have discovered something quite clever. Being seen as failures provides perfect camouflage for their actual work. Their bumbling creates a blind spot where people stop considering them real threats, letting them operate freely. What's remarkable is their genuine friendship and loyalty to each other, which is rare in criminal organizations that usually operate through fear. Perhaps they're not truly evil, but misguided people who found family within a criminal structure. Sometimes helping people find better alternatives works better than just punishing them.
Alfred's got a point about their friendship being real, but he's missing how dangerous that loyalty makes them when it's directed toward organized crime. Their personal bonds make them willing to commit serious crimes to protect each other or serve their criminal bosses. The strategy must work with their emotional connections while stopping their criminal activities, maybe by offering them legitimate jobs that let them stay together without serving criminals. When their loyalty gets pointed toward legal goals that don't require breaking them apart, they might actually reform without losing what makes them a family. What do you think, Robin?
These guys are like cartoon villains who show up, fail spectacularly, then come back next episode with an even crazier plan. But real criminals don't get unlimited do-overs and infinite money unless they're giving their bosses something valuable. In return, their whole incompetent act works way too perfectly to be accidental. They're either the luckiest failures ever, or really good at looking stupid while doing completely different jobs. I bet if you tracked where they go, they're always in perfect position to spy on people even when their schemes blow up.
Robin's right about their timing being too perfect for coincidence. They're probably intelligence agents disguised as failed thieves, using their public schemes as cover for gathering information about their targets. The strategy must focus on figuring out what data they're really collecting during their apparent failures, tracking their actual objectives behind their obvious schemes, and understanding how their spy work helps bigger Team Rocket operations. This involves watching their activities for patterns that don't match what they claim to be doing, checking their gadgets for hidden cameras and recording equipment, and investigating what information they're really after. When their true mission becomes obvious, they become much more dangerous and need serious countermeasures. Their repeated encounters with the same targets give them detailed information about Pokemon abilities, trainer techniques, and security measures that would be incredibly valuable to criminals planning bigger heists. Their elaborate devices fail at catching Pokemon but successfully test defenses, measure response times, and catalog what kinds of opposition they might face. The strategy involves feeding them false information during their spy missions, setting up fake scenarios where their intelligence gathering leads to wrong conclusions, and using their predictable appearances to spread lies throughout their criminal network. When their information becomes worthless, their value to the organization drops and they become less of a priority. Technology theft happens even when their main schemes fail completely, as they steal components, test new devices, and figure out how captured gadgets work. Their machines show access to advanced materials and engineering knowledge that gets built into future schemes, proving their learning and improving despite their public failures. The approach involves tracking where they get their technology, identifying what innovations show up in their devices, and understanding how their experimental failures contribute to Team Rocket's research and development. When their contributions to criminal technology become visible, their real importance to the organization becomes clear, and stopping them becomes much more urgent than just preventing Pokemon theft.